It was a quiet evening inside a large supermarket. Soft lights shone over clean floors and long shelves. People moved slowly, tired after a long day. At the end of one aisle, a woman stood still, holding a small basket in her hand. She was a successful woman, a CFO of a big company. People at work feared her sharp mind and strong voice. But here, no one knew who she was. She wore a simple coat, her hair tied back, her face calm but tired. Her eyes showed something deeper, loneliness. She had just finished another long day. Meetings, numbers, pressure. Money was never a problem for her. Silence was. As she waited near the checkout, a sound caught her attention. A baby was crying. Not a loud cry. Not angry. Just soft and tired. She looked ahead. A man stood in front of her. He was black, thin, and looked worn out. His jacket was old. His shoes were clean, but clearly used many times. In his arms, he held a small baby wrapped in a faded blanket. On the counter was one item. Baby formula. The cashier scanned it and said the price. The man nodded and slowly reached into his pocket. He took out some cash and a card. His hand shook slightly. The cashier tried the card. Beep. She tried again. Beep. She looked up and spoke in a flat voice. Sir, the card is not working. The man swallowed hard. He checked the screen. He looked at his card, then at the baby. The baby cried again, louder this time. I'm sorry, the man said quietly. Can you try again? The cashier sighed and tried once more. Beep. It still declined, she said. Do you want to pay another way? The man looked into his wallet. It was almost empty. He counted the cash again, slow and careful. It was not enough. People in the line began to shift. One woman checked her phone. A man behind crossed his arms. No one spoke. The baby cried harder. The man's shoulders dropped. His face turned red, not from anger, but from shame. I'll return it, he said softly. The words felt heavy. The cashier reached for the formula and moved it aside. The man did not argue. He did not complain. He only nodded. He held the baby closer and whispered something that no one could hear. The woman behind him, the CFO, watched everything. She felt something tighten in her chest. She did not know this man. She did not know his story, but she saw his eyes. They were tired, kind, broken. The baby's cry echoed in her mind. For a moment, she was not a powerful executive. She was just a woman standing in a store, watching a father fail to feed his child. Her fingers tightened around her basket. She remembered long nights alone in her big house. Cold dinners, quiet rooms, all the money in the world, but no warm voice calling her name. The cashier pushed the formula farther away. Next customer, please, she said. The man took a slow step back. He turned slightly, ready to leave. The baby's face was wet with tears. That was when the woman moved. Just one step forward. Her heels made a soft sound on the floor. The man paused. The cashier looked up. The people in line looked too. The woman opened her mouth, then closed it. Her heart beat fast. She had stepped in many boardrooms without fear. But this moment felt different. This moment felt important. She looked at the formula, then at the baby, then at the man. No one knew what she was about to do. Not even her. The store felt silent. And in that silence, a single choice waited to be made. The woman stood there for a moment, still and quiet. Her step forward had stopped time in that small space. But before she spoke, her mind pulled her back into her own life, far away from the supermarket lights. Her name was Evelyn Carter. Most people knew her as a strong CFO of a large company. She made hard choices every day. She signed papers that moved millions of dollars. In meetings, her voice was calm, clear, and final. People listened when she spoke. They always did. But no one saw her when the day ended. Every morning, Evelyn woke up alone in a modern house. The rooms were big, clean, and silent. No photos on the walls. No laughter. Just perfect furniture and soft echoes. She dressed well, drank her coffee, and drove to work without speaking to anyone. She had built her life with focus and discipline. She believed success meant safety. Money meant freedom. Feelings were things to control, not follow. That belief came from her past. Evelyn grew up in a small home with little money and too much fear. Her mother worked long hours. Her father left early and never returned. As a child, Evelyn learned not to ask for help. She learned to depend on herself. When she was hungry, she waited. When she was sad, she stayed quiet. She promised herself one thing. She would never be weak. Years passed. She studied hard. She worked harder. She climbed higher. And she won. But with every step up, something inside her slowly faded. Friends drifted away. Love never stayed long. Her life became full of success and empty of meaning. She told herself it was enough. Until now. The sound of the crying baby pulled her back into the present. That sound touched something deep inside her chest, something she had locked away for years. She looked at the man again. His clothes were simple. His eyes were tired, but gentle. He held the baby with care, like the child was the most valuable thing in his world. Evelyn noticed the way he did not raise his voice. He did not blame anyone. He did not ask for pity. He accepted the moment with quiet pain. That quiet pain felt familiar. She remembered standing in her childhood kitchen, watching her mother count coins on the table. She remembered hunger. She remembered shame. She remembered the feeling of wanting help, but being too afraid to ask. Her heart beat faster. She realized something that surprised her. This was not about money. She had paid for expensive dinners without thought. She had wasted more money on things she did not need. But this moment felt heavier, larger, and more real. She felt a question rise inside her. If I walk away now, who do I become? Evelyn looked down at her hands. They were steady, strong, hands that had built an empire. But what were they for, if not moments like this? The line behind her waited. The cashier watched her with tired eyes. The man stood frozen, unsure. Evelyn took a slow breath. She had made choices that shaped companies. Now a different kind of choice stood in front of her. One that would not be written in reports or praised in meetings. A human choice. She stepped closer to the counter. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was soft but clear. Please, she said. Everyone looked at her. I'll take care of it. And with those simple words, something inside Evelyn Carter quietly began to change. The man's name was Marcus Hill. He did not look up when the woman spoke. For a second, he thought he heard her wrong. Help was not something life offered him anymore. He had learned that lesson again and again. Marcus was 32 years old, but life had aged him faster. His face showed long nights without sleep and days filled with worry. Still, when he looked at his baby, his eyes softened. That small boy was the reason he kept going. The baby's name was Noah. 2 years earlier, Marcus had a different life. Not easy, but hopeful. He had a small apartment, a steady job at a warehouse, and a wife who smiled even on hard days. They talked about dreams late at night. Simple dreams. A better place. A safe future for their child. Then everything fell apart. Noah was born early. Medical bills came fast and heavy. Marcus worked extra hours, lifting boxes until his back burned. His wife grew weaker each month. One cold morning, she did not wake up. Just like that, Marcus became a single father. Grief does not ask for permission. It moves in and never leaves. Marcus sold what he could. He moved to a cheaper place. He took any job he could find, cleaning offices at night, loading trucks in the morning. Some days, he ate once. Some days, not at all. But Noah always ate. At least, Marcus tried to make sure of that. That morning, he had counted his money 3 times. He knew it was close, but he hoped it would be enough. Prices kept rising. Formula cost more than before. He told himself he would find a way tomorrow. But tomorrow does not feed a hungry baby today. At the checkout, when the card failed, his heart sank. Not from surprise, but from fear. Fear that he was failing again. Fear that he was not enough. When the cashier pushed the formula away, something broke inside him. He felt eyes on his back. He felt small, invisible, weak. Still, he did not shout. He did not beg. He would not teach his son that shame had power. He whispered to Noah, "It's okay, buddy. Daddy's here." When the woman behind him spoke, Marcus froze. He did not turn right away. Pride and fear held him still. Help often came with judgment, with looks that hurt more than hunger. Slowly, he turned. He saw a woman who did not look at him with pity. She looked at the baby first, then at him. Her face was calm, but her eyes were warm. "I'll take care of it," she said again. Marcus shook his head without thinking. "You don't have to," he said quietly. "I know," the woman replied. "But I want to." Those words hit him harder than the declined sound. Wanting to help was rare. Real wanting. Not showing off. Not feeling sorry. The cashier waited. The line stayed silent. Marcus looked down at Noah. The baby had stopped crying. Big eyes stared up at him, trusting and unaware. Marcus felt tears burn his eyes, but he blinked them away. "Thank you," he said. One word. Heavy. Honest. He did not know this woman. He did not know why she cared. But for the first time in a long while, the weight on his chest felt lighter. As the formula was scanned again, Marcus felt something new rise inside him. Hope. And hope, he knew, was dangerous. But he also knew he was already holding something far more powerful in his arms. That night in the store was not just about food. It was about being seen. It was about a stranger choosing kindness without reason. Marcus did not know it yet, but this moment would follow him forever. It would change the path of life. The cashier finished scanning the formula and said the total again. This time, Evelyn placed her card on the counter without hesitation. Her hand did not shake. The payment went through with a soft sound. The receipt printed slowly, like it understood the weight of the moment. Marcus watched in silence. He felt relief, but also confusion. Help usually came with limits. This felt different. Evelyn picked up the bag and gently placed it in Marcus's hands. "Your baby needs this," she said simply. Marcus nodded. "Yes," he replied. "He does." His voice was low, careful, like he feared the moment would disappear if he spoke too much. Evelyn noticed the way he held the formula. Not like an object, but like a promise. She felt a strange pull in her chest, a mix of concern and respect. She could have walked away then. Many people would have. The problem was solved. The baby would eat. The story could end right there. But Evelyn did not move. Instead, she asked, "Do you have help?" The question was soft, but it landed hard. Marcus looked up, surprised. "Help," he repeated. "Yes," she said. "Family. Friends. Anyone." Marcus shook his head slowly. "No," he answered. "It's just me and him." The words stayed between them. Evelyn felt something shift inside her. She saw not just a tired man, but a long road ahead of him. Late nights. Hard choices. Silent fear. She knew that road well, even if her version had looked different. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small white card. She hesitated for half a second, then handed it to him. "My name is Evelyn," she said. "If you need anything, call me." Marcus stared at the card. A name. A number. Clean letters. Real. "I can't ask for more," he said quickly. "You already did enough." Evelyn met his eyes. "Sometimes," she said, "people don't ask. They just survive. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be supported." Marcus did not know what to say. He had learned to accept help once, not twice. He folded the card carefully and placed it in his wallet, like it was fragile. "Thank you," he said again. This time his voice cracked. Evelyn nodded. She felt her throat tighten, but she kept her calm. She had trained herself well. The cashier cleared her throat. "Have a good night," she said, softer than before. Marcus adjusted Noah in his arms and turned toward the exit. Halfway there, he stopped. He looked back. "I won't forget this," he said. Evelyn gave a small smile. "Neither will I." Marcus left the store. The doors closed behind him. The sound echoed. Evelyn stood alone at the counter. The line moved again. People returned to their own lives. The moment faded for everyone else. But not for her. As she walked to her car, the night air felt different. Colder, but clearer. She sat behind the wheel and did not start the engine right away. She thought about the card she gave away. It was a small thing. Just paper. Just ink. But she knew she had crossed a line she had drawn long ago. The line between watching and acting. Between safety and connection. For the first time in years, Evelyn felt unsure of what came next. And for the first time, she was not afraid of that feeling at all. The days after the supermarket night passed slowly for Marcus. Life did not suddenly become easy. He still woke before sunrise, still worked long hours, and still worried about tomorrow. But something inside him felt different. He kept thinking about Evelyn, about the calm way she spoke, about the fact that she did not hurry away. He had met many people, but none like her. 3 days later, Noah became sick. His small body burned with fever, and he would not stop crying. Marcus panicked. He missed work and rushed to a clinic. The bill was more than he had. He sat in the waiting room, holding Noah, feeling trapped. That was when he remembered the card. His hands shook as he took it out. He stared at the name. Evelyn. For a long moment, he hesitated. Then he called. Evelyn answered on the second ring. She listened without interrupting. She did not ask many questions. She simply said, "Stay there. I'm coming." She arrived within 20 minutes. She paid the bill, spoke to the nurse, and made sure Noah was safe. She did not act like a hero. She acted like it was normal. Over the next weeks, Evelyn stayed in touch. She helped Marcus find a better job. She connected him with a child care center. She checked on Noah. She never made Marcus feel small. Marcus worked harder than ever, not because of pressure, but because someone believed in him. He began to stand taller. He smiled more. Evelyn, meanwhile, noticed changes in herself. She looked forward to phone calls. She laughed when Noah made sounds on the line. Her empty house no longer felt silent. One evening, she visited Marcus's small apartment. Noah reached for her finger. Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. She realized something simple, but powerful. Kindness did not end at one moment. It grew, and neither of them would ever be the same again. The weeks turned into months. Marcus saved money, slowly. He learned new skills. His supervisor noticed. A promotion followed. It was not easy, but it was progress. Evelyn kept her help quiet. She refused praise. She told herself she was only doing what felt right. Yet her coworkers noticed her softer tone. At work, she questioned decisions more. She thought about people, not just numbers. Success slowly gained a new meaning. Marcus sometimes felt fear. He worried the support would end. But Evelyn never pulled away. She set clear limits, but stayed. One afternoon, Marcus thanked her again. She stopped him. "Live well," she said. "That is enough." Noah grew stronger. His laugh filled rooms. Marcus recorded short videos and sent them. Evelyn watched each one, smiling. In quiet moments, Evelyn understood the truth. Power without care was empty. Care without power struggled. Together, they changed lives. She no longer felt lonely. Marcus no longer felt invisible. Noah felt safe. A simple choice in a store had grown roots. Those roots held firm. And the story was still moving forward, quietly, patiently, toward a future none of them had planned, but all of them needed. The bond between them remained respectful. There were rules. There was honesty. Trust grew slowly, like dawn. Marcus promised himself to give back. Someday, he would help another parent, another child. Evelyn began to mentor young workers. She listened more than she spoke. Life did not become perfect. Problems came, but fear no longer ruled. Because one night, two strangers chose courage. They chose care. They chose to see. And that choice kept growing, shaping days, shaping hearts, shaping futures, one quiet step at a time. The kindness that began there would last longer than money, longer than titles, and longer than fear, becoming a promise none of them would ever break. It was only the beginning of a deeper change yet to come ahead. For them, time moved forward, as it always does. Days turned into years, and the night at the supermarket slowly became a memory. But its effect never faded. Noah grew into a healthy little boy. His steps became steady. His words became clear. His laughter filled every room he entered. Marcus watched him with pride and quiet joy. Life was still hard at times, but it was no longer hopeless. Marcus kept his promise to himself. He worked with focus and honesty. The promotion led to better pay. The better pay led to stability. He moved into a brighter apartment with space for Noah to play. On the walls were simple pictures, smiles, moments, proof of progress. Marcus never forgot where he came from. He saved carefully. He planned wisely. And when he could, he helped others. Sometimes it was small. A meal, a ride, a kind word. But he knew small things could change lives. Evelyn's life also looked different. She was still a CFO, still respected, still strong. But her world had opened. Her home was no longer empty. Toys rested in corners. Crayon drawings sat on her fridge. Laughter replaced silence. She did not become a mother in the usual way, but she became something just as real. A constant presence. She attended school events. She helped with homework. She listened. She learned. And through it all, she found a sense of purpose she had never known. Evelyn no longer measured success only in numbers. She measured it in impact, in growth, in human connection. At work, she changed policies. She supported parents. She created programs for families in need. Quiet changes, strong changes. People noticed. One afternoon, years later, Evelyn and Marcus sat on a park bench. Noah ran ahead, laughing, chasing birds. The sun was warm. The moment was peaceful. Marcus looked at Evelyn. "That night," he said slowly, "you didn't just buy formula. You gave us a future." Evelyn shook her head gently. "You built that future," she replied. "I just opened a door." They sat in silence, watching Noah. Both knew the truth lived somewhere in between. Life had tested them both, in different ways, and both had grown. Noah returned and climbed onto the bench. He leaned against Evelyn and smiled up at her. "You came," he said. "Always," she answered. Years later, Noah would learn the full story. He would learn about struggle, about fear, about kindness. He would learn that one moment, one choice, could change everything. And he would remember. The supermarket still stood on that street. People still passed through. Cards still declined. Babies still cried. But somewhere in the air, kindness lingered. Because kindness does not disappear. It moves forward. Evelyn often thought back to that night. The sound, the silence, the step forward. She understood now that her life truly began there. Not when she earned her title, not when she gained power, but when she chose to care. Marcus tucked Noah into bed each night with gratitude. Not for luck, but for courage. Courage to accept help. Courage to keep going. Noah slept safe, loved, secure. And that was the real ending. Not a miracle, not a dream. Just people choosing humanity. Again and again. In a world that often looks away, one woman stepped forward. One man held on. One child grew strong. And everything changed.